Hail and well met, my fellow Hearthstone players, and welcome to Hearth Coach, the podcast that can help you be legendary. I'm your host, Fred, and this is my co host, Languagehacker. We are both players of legend rank, and I have convinced Languagehacker to come in today and help me with the show since Dan is out of commission. And hopefully, it can help some more of you make it to legend also. Alright, I got that in. I'm not as good as Dan, but I got it done. How are you doing tonight, Languagehacker?
I'm good, can't complain. Ready to play some Hearthstone.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you jumping in and filling in an audible fashion. I had to make an adjustment for this week. We normally record a lot earlier. But we had to do it late. Not sure if everybody knows. I tweeted about it after talking to Dan, but Dan is in Florida. He's actually in Gainesville, Florida, which is more in the center of the state. And they got hit by the Hurricane Irma. And surprisingly, even though Tampa and some of those areas were the ones that were supposed to be hit the hardest, I have family there and they seem to have fared fine. But then, unfortunately for Dan in Gainesville, his whole apartment got flooded. He sent me some pictures of it, and it looked pretty bad. He told me it's about a foot of water in there. So he's lost a bunch of stuff. He's had to clean it up, move it all out of whatever he could salvage, and it's in storage right now. And he's got like temporary living arrangements. So that's why he's not here this week or tonight, because he's focusing on trying to get all that stuff back together. So I've tweeted about it. I know a lot of you responded, so we appreciate all that good energy that you're sending our way. If you feel more generous still, I just got information from him tonight. They've set up, him and Chris, his fiance, a GoFundMe page. You'll find the link on the notes, so you can feel free to, and I've tweeted about it as well. If you want to support him in that fashion, then that is set up there as well. So with that, we can move on to the show. Again, Language, thank you so much for coming on and bailing me out. I was like, we can't miss a week. The streak is still alive. 137 weeks consecutively. I said, you know what? I know somebody out there from the community is going to respond, so appreciate you keeping the streak alive for me.
I mean, it's a long time. It's pretty insane. That's what, 2 years and a bit. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just glad I could come on. It's always fun when I've hopped on in the past, so I figured why not do it again.
Yep. Well, before leaving the subject altogether, for any else out there affected by the storm, we send you our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully you get back on your feet soon. I know this has been between Houston and Florida. I mean, we even lost power up here in Georgia. Like, when we were on the lead up to the storm, the first time in the history of Atlanta Metro, tropical storm warning. For the first time ever. This thing was so big. Because normally what happens when it hits land, it kind of breaks up and it becomes, tropical depression, or more like just clouds and rain. But no, this was coming up here as a tropical storm, which is not usual. So people were rightfully so freaking out. So if you've been affected, I hope you are all safe, and that if you did lose you had any damage, you get back on your feet quickly. So. All right. So I'll talk about my week in Hearthstone. It's been fairly limited. I did make it to rank 5, and now with full stars. And I use a combination of decks, but mostly kind of the one that got me those last few stars to 5 was Big Priest again. I've been enjoying that thing. I don't know, maybe I'm just a fan of the high roll, like getting the barns out. But I have found that even when you don't high roll, it can still work. I mean, it has enough stall and removal. It's kind of like freeze mage, right? You stall, you heal, you remove, and then you have a swing turn where you play something big, and somehow it gets you through it because you can keep bringing it back. So enjoy that. Now, what I did for when I was rank 5, I'm like, let's try this aggro paladin deck that reminded me of my old days with Shakadin. Is somebody that played it in Asia Pacific HCT. It's a bunch of 1-drops and Prince Kaliseth. I played 4 games. I won them all. I mean, it's crazy how effective it seems to be. So that may be one that we try because I know Dan likes fast decks. And when the nerfs hit, it may get even better. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have Murlocs. Fiery War Axe will become more expensive, stuff like that. So it may be viable when the nerfs hit. So also, I mentioned that we had the Tavern versus Tavern tournament, and we were sort of confused because every team ended up 2-1, and the tiebreakers were kind of confusing. So they've actually given us the opportunity to play again for a spot on the top 16 for Tavern versus Tavern, which would be the single elimination bracket. And then on top of that, the nerfs are coming on the Monday, the 18th. So they're even giving us a chance to change the deck lists around, giving that information. So based on what we saw, what we've learned, and what worked and didn't work, I don't think you can change classes or who's playing what, but we can change the list, like cards around. So we're going to make some adjustments and try to bring it home, because then, the round of 16, I don't know if it's top 4 or the finalists, we get to go to BlizzCon. So that would be pretty awesome out of this. So anyway, that was another piece of news. We also had our tournament, and it was exciting, but I'll leave that to when Dan gets back so he can kind of participate in our patron tournament. But we had another one, and it was great, and it was a lot of fun. So with all that for my week, I'll ask you, Language Hacker, how was your week? I know you've been at DreamHack, you've been doing a little bit of streaming, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, this past weekend was DreamHack Montreal, and I've been trying to hit up all the DreamHacks in North America so far this year. Just kind of do like a tour and try to, win some prize money, make a name for myself, kind of ideally win one, but that hasn't happened yet. And Montreal was, I live in Canada near Toronto, so Montreal wasn't that far away. I drove up with a friend. It was like a 6-7 hour drive. And yeah, we just took a stab at that. Neither of us ended up finishing top 16, but it was still fun seeing like all the big names there. We saw the casters. Cora was there, Falcone, Lorinda, Noxious.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty fun.
Did
go ahead.
Did Noxious come out to the area, or was he like Lothar that like stayed back and never made an appearance?
No, he walked out of it. Lothar was, at Atlanta. I didn't see Lothar once. It's hilarious.
That was so interesting, right? Like,
I remember
we didn't
that,
even see him. We're like, where is he?
He walked out. Noxious came out a little bit. I mean, just they were rotating casters between like every couple sets. So whenever they weren't casting, they were either sitting in the crowd with people watching on, or they were just walking around, looking for people to hang out with.
Awesome.
I didn't personally go say hi, but I met him back at Austin, I think, Noxious. So yeah, nice guy. I mean, they're all really nice people. The community in general is just really great. If you haven't gone out to one of these events, I know it might be hard to go out, like if it's somewhere completely far away. But if you happen to have one near you, I would definitely go check it out. It's really cool. It's fun. It's quite an experience.
How would you say, now that you've been to 3 of them, is the setup kind of similar? Was one bigger than the other? What are your thoughts there?
So the 2 I've been to Austin, Atlanta, and Montreal. Austin and Atlanta were both, I think, let's say double the size of Montreal. Montreal was much smaller.
Okay.
I don't know if it's probably the location. I imagine within the States, people find it easier to just travel around there. But as soon as it hits, another country, people might just not want to, cross borders and stuff. Might make it more complicated, more expensive, or whatnot. And I think fewer people actually flew out to Montreal from Europe as well. I know a lot of European players don't actually fly out to the DreamHacks in America, but there's still like a handful that do. But in Montreal, it seemed like there were even fewer. I think there were like 110, 120 people signed up for the event.
Okay.
And at Atlanta and Austin, each of them had like 250 players, give or take. So there was, yeah, a notable difference.
In terms of the venue as well, not just the participants,
The
or
venue was fairly similar. I think the Montreal venue was actually also a bit tinier, but not much more so.
okay.
I mean, you kind of get lost in there. It's a little dark. They've
I,
got some dim lights on, so it's kind of hard to tell in the first place. But yeah,
yeah.
they're pretty similar.
Okay. Now I didn't catch much of this one, so just quickly, who ended up winning? And was it somebody? Was it Muzzy? Is that
So
right?
yeah, Muzzy ended up winning the whole thing.
Okay.
Muzzy and Zalay have been in competition for the Hearthstone Championship Tour, and they've been the like neck and neck right before last call. And for those who don't know, last call is basically a final ticket to BlizzCon as a competitor if you have the most HCT points at the end of, I think it's September, October. I'm not quite sure, and everyone else had kind of fallen behind. So Muzzy and Zalay are kind of traveling to every single event now that award HCT points to try and beat the other one out and get that ticket to BlizzCon. And Zalay also made it to the top 16, but Muzzy ended up winning the whole thing. So I think Muzzy's ahead in that race now.
Whew. Did he do? Actually, not him, but so how did you said none of you guys made it? So what? How far did you make it, and what kind of lineup did you bring to the tournament?
I think we both went four. I know I went 4-5 in the rounds of Swiss, and to advance past Swiss, you needed a score of 7-2, 6-3, 6-3 or better. A few 6-3 scores got in the rounds of Swiss, and everyone's 7-2 and higher was guaranteed. I think we both ended 4-5. I personally brought J Druid, Raza and Kazakus Priest, Evolve Shaman, and Control Warlock with like Blood Reaver Gul'dan. My friend ended up bringing, what was it? Aggro Druid, Murloc Paladin, Pirate Warrior, and Evolve Shaman. So he went for a more aggressive route. I went for the standard build. Most of the lineups out there were J Druid because it's really strong right now, Raza Kazakus Priest because it's really strong right now, and then two other decks that people just kind of felt complemented them. I thought I'd go with Shaman and Warlock to try and beat the other aggressive decks. And I mean, some people see like Evolved Shaman as kind of a high roll deck. Like if you have like a really explosive opening, you can kind of beat a lot of stuff. If a Mana Tide gets out of hand, if a Flame Tongue gets out of hand, you can just win the game off of that with a Bloodlust to finish. And even if they clear, you can come back with a Doppelgangster Evolve. It did some work, but I feel like when I needed it to kind of just get there the most, the RNG wasn't there. I took some screenshots. I'll show you later, but there was some sketchy evolves. And Warlock, I talked to some people. They thought it would do well against aggro, and it can still just kind of win against Priest because like you have the big giants. They're only running one of each card, so sometimes they don't have the death right off the bat. It's hard for them to kill Twilight Drakes. Even the Despicable Dreadlords, even though they're 5 mana 4/5s, like a Yeti, it's hard for Priest to remove. So with that in mind, you might just be able to kill some Priests by turn 6-7 if you have a good early hand. I don't know if I was super happy with my lineup, but I always say that when I either get unlucky or I don't make it. So it's really hard to say if it was just the decks or if it was just the lineup itself that didn't perform well.
Wasn't this? I mean, isn't that what Muzzy did? But he had Paladin instead of Warlock, right? I mean,
Yeah, so he was running Druid, Priest, Evolved Shaman, and Paladin, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those. You hit the right thing, especially with those high roll may not be the right term, but kind of high roll cards like Evolve and the Evolves or whatever. Yeah.
Strong cards that have the potential to just get out of hand. Yeah.
All right. So, this is your plan to go to the next one, which is it Denver, I believe?
Yeah, so it's Denver. I was gonna buy tickets this weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of lineup, I haven't started preparing for that. I have it in the back of my mind. I kind of want to see how like the meta develops after Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like it might become a bit slower, but if the meta becomes slower, you mentioned the paladin you were running on ladder, that can become more popular as well because if people are running greedier decks, and if you can just kill them really really quickly with the aggressive paladin, then maybe that's a worthwhile thing to bring.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's the
yeah,
and you're gonna have. I wonder how it's gonna shift. It's gonna be interesting. It's hard to predict. You think
it's also yeah. Go ahead.
you think Jade Druid will continue? They just put like more ramp. Is that what you would do? I mean, what's
Um, so for those who haven't seen the nerfs, Innervate is getting nerfed to no longer give 2 additional mana, but 1 additional mana, and Spreading Plague is being nerfed to 6 mana instead of 5 mana. Um, I think Jade Druid is still going to be a top tier deck. It will not be as powerful. Obviously, there were no positive effects that happened, no positive changes to the cards. So in general, the deck will become weaker. But aggro has also been nerfed, so it's hard to say how it'll shift without actually running these matchups and seeing, oh, this one mana innervate now changes everything, or oh, this War Axe coming out on turn 3 instead of 2 makes it a lot easier for me. Now I don't need an innervate, but you kind of have to play the matchup a while. You can like theorize a bit, but
you you think it hurts more the token one because you don't have those crazy starts, like or where you can jam in like a Power of the Wild or some other Mark of the Lotus on
yeah,
top?
I think that'll definitely hurt the token variants of Druid for sure.
That's not necessarily a good thing, but I mean a bad thing, but because some of those starts is kind of silly.
Yeah, but
So,
that's yeah, they'll have a lot fewer innervate Hydra or just innervate fledgling
yes,
starts.
exactly. You have to
Which,
wait one turn to do that.
yeah,
And then if you're warrior, you have to wait one turn to kill it. So maybe it
that's
evens
true with the
itself out.
Warx.
It's like, oh man. And then if you're a shaman that had hex, you have to wait one more turn to hex it. I started seeing show up again in some evolved lists for whatever reason. The hex. Maybe
Oh yeah.
some people trying to get
Um,
the last chance with it at
I
3 mana.
think well, who was running it? It was a DreamHack actually. One of the top 8 players was running Evolve Shaman with Hex, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Walloompa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Walloompa. He was running Hex and Evolve Shaman. And I mean, he got him to top 8 at DreamHack. So
I mean, hex is hex. It's
Hex
still a
is Hex.
crazy spot.
Transform slash silence effects are very very powerful.
Just kill
Yeah.
anything. Spike Rich Steed, goodbye. I mean, jeez. Um, all right, so you're gonna go to Denver. So I guess that's
Yeah.
the next kind of goal because all the HCT stuff is essentially over now. Just
Yep. All the HET stuff is wrapped up, minus prelims or slash playoffs, which are our championship, which is happening tomorrow actually.
yeah, the North America, right?
Yep.
And
Speaking
then
of which, there's some crazy decks submitted.
that's where I wanted to go next. It's like one thing I saw or read is that every class is represented, which means there's hunters in here. And I
I
think there's
yeah.
quest rogues. Is that right?
So, okay, yes. There are multiple, like several quest rogues. I think there's one quest druid, so like Barnabas, like jungle giants.
Yeah.
Um,
Monsanto
yeah,
has that.
Monsanto brought a crazy lineup. So jungle giants druid, silence priest, quest rogue, and what was the fourth deck? Quest mage. So he brought, wait, is that 4 quests? No, 3 quests. He brought 3 quest lineup.
Jeez.
That's insane. What he's trying to do is really target the druids and the priests because druids have a hard time removing stuff. So if you put like a big silence target with silence priest, you can kill him quickly. And the 4 attack stuff is also very good against priest. Two of the most popular and powerful decks right now.
That's true. Like the silence priest could be kind of a counter. Like a lot
Yeah.
of times on the big priest versus the Kazakus priest, you can win on the backs of an early statue or Ysera. It just sits there. There's nothing they can do. You just keep hitting them until they're dead. It's pretty interesting. Wow. So
Uh,
he's just banking on a total counter meta choice.
yeah. Well, I think literally almost every single person is bringing druid and priest. Not or. I think almost everyone has druid and priest. There are a few people who didn't bring priest, but I think everybody brought druid. So I don't know. I mean, his lineup has it is Conquest 2, not Last Year Standing.
Mm-hmm.
So he could just whoop like shut out Druid, which is crazy because it's Druid. But
Means he wouldn't ban it. He just leaves it up and just use it.
yeah, he does. He wouldn't ban Druid. He doesn't ban Priest. Yeah, his decks are very strong against both.
So you ban some other thing that you don't want to deal with, and
Yeah, you take a look at their. It's open deck list, so you take a look at their lineup,
hmm.
figure out what you don't like or what you're uncomfortable playing against, and then ban that out.
So what? Okay, so why is Quest Rogue here again? Like I thought
It's
it
same
doesn't.
thing. It can just win really easily against Jade Druid because yes they ramp, but you can finish the quest. I actually practiced this a bit today. A few people asked me to practice with them for prelims, and they
Hmm.
wanted me to play Quest Rogue because no one's played against it in forever.
Yeah, like what is this?
I played like 5 or 6 games. I think I completed the quest by turn like 7 or 8 on my side. And the Druid is ramped up by then. They've played some Jades, but the Jades aren't that big at that point. They're like what, 4/4s, maybe even 5/5s. But once you complete the quest and flood the board with literally 1 mana 5/5s, it's actually insane. And you still run 2 vanishes, you still run cycle. So if the board's too big, specifically against Jade Druid, you can vanish and play a bunch of cheap 1 drops that are 5/5s. You still have charges and bounce backs. You can kill them very, very quickly after you complete the quest.
That's
And it still performs well against Priest as well. They only have 3 ways to clear everything. One way is Dragonfire Potion. Second way is Pint Size Potion and Shadow Word Horror, which is a 2 card combo. And the third way
is
is
Anduin.
exactly the Shadow Reaper Anduin, which clears all 5 attack or more minions. And on average, they don't draw all 3 of those. Sometimes they don't even draw 2. And if
Right.
you can complete the quest before Shadow Reaper Anduin, or even if you don't complete the quest that quickly, if you just kind of stagger your resources, Priest cannot remove 5/5 after 5/5 after 5/5 after 5/5. It's just definitely not.
So people,
So
that's interesting that people are sleeping on these decks, and then Priest rose to prominence, and they're like, "What's the counter to Priest? Oh, we've forgotten about these things
that's
we used to
true.
play that can beat it up." So pretty cool.
And I think Quest Druid is another similar thing there. It's hard for Druid and Priest to deal with big threats. So if you can just complete the quest, play Barnabas, if you hit a Nourish or if you hit an Ultimate Infestation,
Oh
everything you draw
God.
now is 0 mana.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, all the minions, yeah. So it's I've seen it work. Sometimes like all Jade Druid, all Druid decks, if you just draw dead for a few turns,
Yeah.
obviously you can still lose. But if
Huh.
the threats line up, it beats Priest, it beats Druid, which is what Monsanto is aiming for, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather, it can be. It
There's
can be
one.
both of them.
There's one more thing to talk about, and that's Hunter. What is going on? Why is this back?
Wait, what's back?
Hunter.
Oh, Hunter. So recently, I didn't see this, but Asmodai, a popular streamer, was streaming Hunter at like High Legend, and it turns out the deck is actually kind of okay.
I
It
mean, like,
again, it specifically is okay against Jade Druid. It specifically is good against Priest. Again, you lay a lot of threats on board, like turn after turn, um, similar to Shaman, but Shaman makes a lot of small guys that by themselves aren't super relevant, and then they use their tools to make them relevant. Hunter just has like, it builds up the threats fairly quickly. And with, I think, the addition of Stitch Tracker, the
mm-hmm.
3 mana 2/2 that lets you discover a minion in your deck, I mean, it's a bit of a meme because it isn't statted well, but like, I've seen it used very well. If you just don't have a 3 drop or you need a 4 or 5 drop, you can play that. You can find a high main to play on 6, makes it more consistent. If you're against pirates, you can discover more Galaka crawlers. If you're against paladin, you can discover more hungry crabs. It's I
Sha-
mean the deck seems weird, but it's flexible enough that it seems to be working right now.
it's shadow visions for minions, but then you find the
Yeah,
stuff you need. It's kind of like, yeah.
it's it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I saw Orange also had some thoughts on it. So he likes playing Hunter, and he's been upset that it's been dead for so long. But I don't know if it's consistent enough where I would venture to bring it to something like this. But there's only a handful, I think. But still, it's pretty brave. So hopefully,
Yeah,
it'd be good to see it perform well and not just. One thing is, it's pretty fragile to like AOE and stuff like that. So
true.
sometimes you can't get the refill going. But That's what I've been playing. I was tasked with Hunter in the Tavern versus Tavern. And remember, no epics, no legendary. So this is. I was thinking the same thoughts. Now we're making some adjustments for this additional round we get. So, okay. So do you have any? I mean, this is not prediction or news shows, but somebody that you would like to see win, or someone you think has the best chance to go all the way?
So I didn't actually make it to prelims this time, so I haven't actually looked at all the deck lists and stuff. Normally I would take a look and kind of see what I'm up against, but I haven't done that this time. I am rooting for Just Saying. I practiced a bit with him for a couple of the dream hacks and for last prelims. And yeah, I hope he just succeeds very well. He's been doing very well in all the tournaments he's been in recently, and I think it'd be nice if he finally got a win. Kind of like Muzzy, who just finally won Montreal.
Has he been streaming? Just Saying? I think I've seen
he streams a bit more sporadically. I don't think he streams every day, but like every couple of days he's usually been on. I think also recently he's just been focusing on preparing for prelims because this is a very important event, right? I mean, if you top out here, you go to BlizzCon to compete. Like it's very important, so it's completely understandable.
And there's no season to worry about anymore, so I think a lot of people are really putting a lot into it. You see the streams become these best of 5 scrims against other people rather than just laddering, which makes sense, right? For what you said. This is the last chance to get in, so let's
this year anyways.
Oh yeah. It's like let's get to work.
Which is good. It's good to see people put the time in, and I'm sure it'll show for those who have practiced a lot.
Hopefully so. I mean, that's what you want to see, so.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for, right, as a competitor.
Yep. Cool. Well, that's this weekend, so if you'll be watching, it should be exciting. I'll try to watch some of it. We'll see how it goes. And I'm not sure what time does it start. Normally runs all day, it seems, because it's a long...
I don't remember offhand. If you go on like reddit.com/r/competitive Hearthstone, there's some sort of thread there that tells you what time it'll start at.
I think Hearthpound also puts a survival guide that tells you everything you need to know in one page, including deck lists and stuff, so it's pretty neat. Okay. So now what are you planning? You're going to go to Montreal?
Oh, Denver.
And then what else you think for the rest of the year in terms of Hearthstone? Would that be about it?
So just mainly streaming. I'm trying to become more consistent, but also the 2018 season starts in November? ? So I'll be back grinding ladder and tournaments and stuff at that point.
Yep. At that point, we'll be complaining about Knights of the Frozen Throne and that we need new cards, and hopefully they're getting ready to release them. So.
Other than that, like I've still been fighting for like top 100 legend spots in ranked. And also Wild. Wild has been really fun lately. I found that since I don't have to worry about HCT anymore, it's been kind of fun to just say, I don't want to play against, Pirate Warrior, Jaeger. Let me just go play Wild. Wild's been really fun.
Yep, you were playing some kind of Resurrect Priest.
Yeah, Sounds Priest. Sorry, not Sounds Priest. Big Priest turns out is really good in Wild as well, because you have the 2-mana Resurrect card as well.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. You just add another thing to bring
it
back.
Makes it more consistent. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, very cool. So everybody, we'll put your Twitch on the notes. So go give him a follow so you're notified when he's online. You'll see me lurking in there every now and then, or a lot of the time.
That's good.
Just saying the wrong play or things like that, so you can catch me saying, why didn't you do this? Like, you can't do that because
he does that a lot. No, he catches a lot of mistakes, and then he messages me in game. He's like, "Hey, did you see that you could do this?" And I say, "Oh no, Fred saw me mess up."
Oh yeah, it's so crazy, right? It's tunnel vision when you're in the game. Like I've talked about this before. It's like, oh man, I feel like I play that perfectly, and then somebody watches over you or casts this. It's like, you made a mistake. You could have done this. I'm like, yeah, that would have been so much better. Even if it works out, it could still be wrong. It's like, anyway, so yeah, check him out. We'll put on Twitter at Languagehacker _ and then on Twitch as well. give him a follow. He's always, you know, doing a lot of explaining the reason behind the play, so it's kind of an educational thing, and as well as it being generally at a high level of play. So go definitely check that out. Okay, so you or I have been begging you a little bit to say, hey, I need to learn how to play this control mage. I crafted a Lich Jaina thing to do to beat the Lich King. That's why I did it. But then I said, you know what? I want to learn how to do this for real in the ladder. But it's a control deck. It takes forever, and I don't want to waste time because you know me, no patience. So maybe you can explain what we have here in terms of the cards and the deck, and then we'll get into some matches to see how I would do it wrong, and you can fix what I'm doing.
Sure. Yeah, so like Fred said, it's kind of a control deck. It can be treated like a freeze mage because a lot of the elements are the same. You kind of want to control the board until late game, but the difference is your win condition isn't necessarily Alexstrasza into burn. You're running Frostlich Jaina, so at that point, it's very easy to stabilize by creating elementals and healing yourself up with the lifesteal you get off of the elementals after you play the Jaina. Before I go into the cards, I just want to point out this is, yeah, like he said, this requires a lot of patience. This does not end on turn 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This goes to fatigue a lot of the time.
I know. I've watched it. It's like, oh my god. And I played against it. It's pretty frustrating because you feel like, all right, looks like I'm going to get him. And then all of a sudden, water elemental after water elemental, they're back to like full health, and you're like, what happened? I'm dead. Yeah,
where did it go wrong, you know?
I know.
Yeah, it's a very powerful deck if you can get to the late game. It doesn't beat everything. It's particularly weak against Rizaka's Priest right now, just because it's very easy for them to remove your elementals, and if they get their Death Knight online and Raza, they don't have to develop minions. They can ping you in the face every turn for 2. Because if you look just at the hero power, they hit you for 2 every turn, you hit them for 1 every turn. And they can play multiple things a turn. So by that logic, you will likely lose that unless they do not draw Shadow Reaper Anduin. But it acts similar to Freeze Mage or a control deck. You can beat aggro with it fairly consistently. We've teched it a bit to be able to be J Druid, which is, you know, all over ladder right now. And it will be on ladder as well after Monday when aggro takes the nerfs. Let's just go straight into the list.
Yep.
We have 2 Archaeologists, pretty much a staple in standard mage lists right now. Since Scientist is rotated out, you want a way to get through your deck faster because it's card draw, and you also want to be able to get your secrets in hand. So just 2 Archaeologists. 2 Doomsayers. We're going to be running some freezes as well, so this can be played in tandem with those to try to clear the board, or it can even be played early on you know, turn 2, 3, 4, just to try to clear the board without a freeze. We have 2 Frostbolts. It's burn if you happen to use Alexstrasza later. It can be used as removal. It's good against, you know, a lot of early minions, more like War Leaders, some Pirates, Archaeologists. If you're facing another mage, it lines up well against most priest minions too. We have 2 Medivh's Valets, similar to the Frostbolt, and you know it's removal and burn, helps you control the board or just go over the top for damage later. 2 Primordial Glyphs, again, pretty staple card in mage, very flexible. Different games call for different things, so it's nice to be able to have that now, even though it is a little busted.
I know. It's so ridiculous. Like, you feel in some games like, all right, we've seen X number of things, so I feel pretty confident that if I make this play, I'll be fine. And out comes Primordial Glyphs, and I'm like, okay, throw your plans out the window because he can make it happen from nowhere.
Yeah. anything but a third, you know, Flame Strike or a third Meteor. After that, we got 2 Arcane Intellects. Again, pretty. A lot of these cards are going to be standard mage cards just because they're really good, and they've been used traditionally in freeze, even in secret mage lists. So it makes sense to be in control as well, just because of their power level. Two Frost Novas works well with Doomsayers. If you don't have the Doomsayer, but you have AoE lined up later, you can always Nova board, set up for some more AoE after. We have one Gluttonous Ooze here. I've seen quite a bit of Pirate Warrior on the ladder in the past couple of days, so this is mainly to just that. It's still a tough matchup. There are a couple of other flex cards I'll point out. And if you find you're facing a lot of Pirate Warrior, you could take out those tech cards and put in either another Ooze or another Galaka, and that really helps the matchup a lot. But we have one in here just, to give us a chance. We have one Ice Barrier, same thing. It's good against aggressive decks. It can help you against Druid too. If you're trying to stabilize near the end of their Jade Train and you've played Geist, but they keep hero powering in the face for 3, Barrier can help you there. Or it can just, add up 8 health early on to help you get to late Frostless Jane or Alexstrasza. But we're only running one Barrier. I find too many secrets makes the deck a bit too clunky. You end up drawing them. It's hard to play. Sometimes you don't even... It doesn't do enough, I think, a second Barrier. So one Barrier is there just for value. We have 2 Ice Blocks. Pretty strong card. Doesn't let you die for a turn or 2. Generally, if you develop Frostless Jaina while you have Ice Block up, it's a very good way to stabilize because they can't kill you because you have the pop. You have the block up, and then you bring the lifesteal thing online, and then if they pop you, you can lifesteal back up with the elemental. 2 fireballs. I was originally running a list without fireballs, but after seeing a lot of streamers play it and I tested out myself, the fireballs just feel a bit better. Mainly used for removal, but again, Alex is in the deck, and you have 2 Frostbolts and 2 Valets. You could conceivably just play this as Freeze Mage and kill your opponent, but it can also be used as removal. 4 mana, 6 damage is pretty good. Notable card up next, 2 Polymorphs. This actually has not been run in a long time. You haven't seen this in Freeze Mage, you haven't seen this in Tempo Mage. The last time people were running this was like in Grinder Mage, and even then people weren't usually running 2. The reason it's so good is, A, you want to fill this whole deck up with removal. Just remove all their threats, and then your hero power becomes your threat generator, because as Frostless Jaina, you're ping summon a 3/6 Water Elemental with Lifesteal. Conveniently, Polymorph gives you a 1/1 token that you can ping off. So if you Polymorph their threat and ping it off with Jaina active, you get a 3/6. So it's pretty good. Next card is a flex slot, at least the Trailblazer. I've been trying to have a bit more fun on ladder lately, and I feel like this is a good way to go about it. This deck didn't have 5 drops anyways, so having something to play on 5 is nice. Against slower decks like Jade Druid or Raza Kazakus Priest, you don't usually play a lot of threats because you don't have them, so I thought this might be a nice addition if you find those a lot on ladder. It is a flex spot though, so A, if you don't have it, or B, you don't like how it feels in the deck, or you're facing too much aggro, you could put in, like I said, a Galaka, an Ooze, or some other sort of early removal. And it just gives you steam. If you don't find Frostless Jaina fast enough and you kind of need to get the ball rolling, the pack could theoretically get you some big threats or more removal if you need it. After that, we have 2 Blizzards. It's AoE, it's another freeze, it works with Doomsayer. It can set up the board for... some aggressive decks have threats that have like 3 health, for example. Blizzard can help you set up for a ping after you have Frostless Jaina up. You can chain Blizzards or set it up for a Meteor or another Flame Strike you find off of Glyph, for example, if you want to roll AoEs. After that, we have 2 Meteors. I think one is really good to have. I think the second one could be a flex spot. Like I said before, you could put in more anti-aggro tech, or if you're not facing any aggro at all, you could try to put in a threat. Like Pyros I found was really good, because it's an early minion as well. We didn't include in this list. It does make the deck more expensive, but if you have it and you don't like the second Meteor, you could try to put in Pyros. This is another tech/flex card, Skulking Geist, just a 1/of. If you have 2 of them, I think it's a bit too clunky. But again, if you're facing a lot of Druid, you can take out Elise, you can put in a second Geist. There's a few spots you can shuffle around here. This is just kind of a general overall, let's try to beat everything list. It's mainly for Jade Druid, really, because no matter how many 3/6s you generate, they eventually build like 9/9s and 10/10s and 11/11s.
They'll beat you with giant things.
Yeah, they don't line up. 3/6s don't line up well against that. But you have enough removal in this deck with Fireballs, Polymorphs, Double Meteors, for example, Blizzard Doomsayers, that if you do have the Geist off, you can take Jade Druid to Fatigue easy. Like, this is the deck that people were trying to counter Druid with after Druid became so popular at the start of this expansion. Because they found if you just run Geist in this, you can actually remove all their threats. Sometimes they still kill you because,
Yeah.
it's Druid,
It's
but
Druid.
this gives you a really good chance against them. Second last card we have is Alexstrasza. People weren't originally running this, but the deck has most of the cards that Freeze Mage has, so it kind of makes sense to put Alexstrasza in here because it gives you a win condition other than Frostlich Jaina, and it's also a defensive tool, right? Frostlich Jaina is the main thing you want to develop because it lets you heal back up no matter from what health you are, and if you have an Ice Block up, that's great. But having like a sort of second defensive option, i.e. Alexstrasza, is really good, I think, to have. Because if you can't find Frostlich Jaina and you're at 2 health and you're like, I need to heal back up, Alex gives you that secondary heal option. And finally, kind of what the deck is built around, Frostlich Jaina. The Mage Deathland hero power. It changes your hero power so that when you kill something with your ping, it summons a water elemental. And also, all your elementals, after you play Jaina, have lifesteal, which means any damage they deal heals you back up. And that's the list.
So, I've seen... You mentioned Flame Strike, but you don't have it. Is that just too much, or...?
I found that you deal with... So there's actually a lot of single target. You have... Let me count them all. 2 Frostbolts, 2 Valets, 2 Fireballs, 2 Polymorphs. Meteor is kind of single target, but you can also just hit, obviously, multiple targets with it. I feel like the deck has enough single target that you don't even need a Flame Strike to clear everything. That being said, if you feel like the deck needs a bit more, you could remove one of the flex slots to put one in.
So
I haven't found...
I mean, the Nova Blizzard and Doomsayers sort of act as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Blizzard doesn't actually completely clear the board, you can... It's used in tandem with Doomsayer, and usually draw enough that you can go like either Nova into Blizzard, or like Blizzard into Blizzard, or Blizzard into Meteor. There's a lot of ways you can line up the removal, and you just got to think creatively of how to remove the board. But generally, you want to remove the threats as they play them, so that you don't need a Flame Strike, because like Valet can remove something, Frostbolt remove something, Fireball, etc.
All right. The other one that I first saw when you were playing it was Baron Geddon, which can do like a mini Reno type of effect where you get healed back up, but
yeah,
I don't see it in here.
Not very well known. Baron Geddon is an elemental, and its end of turn effect is deal 2 damage to everything, all the minions, both characters. And when you have Frostlich Chain up, that damage actually heals you up. So every single thing you did 2 damage to with Geddon's effect heals you up for 2. So if your opponent has like a board of 1/1s, 7 of them, and you kill them all with Geddon, you also heal for 14. And if you're at 1 health, for example, Geddon damages you to -1, but the heal takes you back out of the death range. So that actually doesn't kill you, which is an interesting effect. I found it was more cute than anything. The heal is great, but it's so hard to get into a good position where that actually works. Because against aggressive decks, it means you have to get to a point where you are not popped with your Ice Block, or you're just at a healthy total, and you have played Jaina, and then they have a board that Geddon clears, which is 3 very...
That's a lot.
Yeah. There are funny things you can do where you go like Geddon Frost Nova on 10 mana, because even if it doesn't heal you up, you get like a Geddon effect over 2 turns, which is kind of like a Flame Strike. And you can even develop Jaina behind that, or you can develop Jaina first and then do that, which is also nice. I found it was... When it went off, it was great, but it didn't go off as often as I've liked. Sometimes I end up having it in my hand on like turn 2, and I'm like, like these Murlocs are hitting me in the face, and I can't clear them. You can put in Geddon.
I used it to beat the Lich King. It helped me get out of range. So that
Geddon was good there.
Yeah.
Again, there's a few flex spots here. Geddon is actually really cool to play it if you have the card and you want to trade in here. I would recommend it for sure.
Okay. What about crazy stuff like I've seen people play Sindragosa, and then you can ping off the 0/1s. Seems like a kind of super slow, long-term plan, but...
Yeah, well, it's control mage. Yeah, Sindragosa summons 2/0 mana, I forget what mana cost they are, but they're 2/0/1 tokens, and when you ping them off, you get it's Death Rattle, add a random legendary minion to your hand. The reason why this is good, particularly in this deck, is because with Frostless Jaina, you can ping off the 0/1s if your opponent doesn't give you anything to ping, and summon Water Elementals, and it also gives you legendaries. I would say that's a flex spot. I found Ladder is too aggressive, so that it's kind of bad to have that many big threats.
Yep.
But if you're doing really well with this deck and you feel like aggro has no chance against you, take out one of the tech cards and put in Sindragosa. I toyed around with it a lot on Ladder, and I thought it was really fun. It's not the deck I would use to try to push the Legend or try to top 100 or anything, but it's fun. It depends what you're going for.
All right, one last question. Firelands Portal.
Okay.
Just doesn't fit.
Interesting.
You want 32 card deck?
Oh, if actually, I actually didn't think about that. In some of the old Freeze Mage lists, or rather old, relatively more recent Freeze Mage lists running Firelands Portal, I actually think you could try that. It gives you some sort of threat development that you otherwise don't have in the deck. But again, I to that I would say take out the flex slots and then put in those, because those can be used as removal and threats. I think that might be a good addition if you, for example, if there's not a lot of Pirate Warrior, take out the Ooze, take out Elise, put into Firelands Portals, and I think that would also be a good addition. Yeah. There's so many ways you can build this list, honestly.
Has some people tried to jam Medivh? I'm just curious.
I think I saw someone at Europe prelims try it. I didn't follow how it went.
That seems too way over the top greedy, though.
Well, it also depends what you expect. So if that particular person wasn't expecting a lot of aggro at the Europe prelims, then it makes sense to bring the Medivh, because you want more steam against Jade Druid, you want more steam against Priest, for example. It's kind of hard to say what you're going to face on Ladder, because it changes from day to day, and it changes based on what rank you are at, what server you're playing on. Yeah. So again, it's part of doing Ladder is, what am I seeing? What do I want to play, to beat what I'm seeing? Yeah. So I think Medivh, again, is another viable option, but it depends what you want in the deck.
And so one last comment about Firelands Portal. Alternatively, you could just play Druid, play it on 7, get 5 armor and 5 cards.
That's true. Yeah.
It's called Ultimate Infestation, and they've done it many times on turn 7. Because
play it before they nerf Innervate.
Oh gosh. Alright, so we should get into some matches here and see what this does. Sure. Sound good?
Of course.
Alright, I'm sitting back. I'm relaxing.
Oh yeah, you're gonna relax for a while.
I'm getting comfortable. Here we go. Let's see what rank 5 meta looks like tonight.
Probably Druid.
It's Faith Warrior. Or Priest. Same stuff, right? Oh. Let's see what we get. Oh. It's a mirror match.
You say mirror. It's a mage. It's probably quest mage, but we'll see.
It may be the secret one. So
it could be.
Well, I wouldn't keep Alex or Fireball, don't think. Do you think Glyph is worth keeping? Probably not. And then Valet, I'm always unclear.
I think you can... So, I just want to... Against Quest Mage, you are extremely unfavored because they can just kill you in a turn. So the way mirror matches work is you need to kill them before they kill you.
Just aggressively.
Like, pop their block. And because of that, I would say keep Alex.
Okay.
But everything else, I think it's okay to toss. You want to find Cycle, you want to find Arcanologist.
Right, like... If it was an aggressive deck, the Valet, maybe it's a keep, right? But
yep. And against an aggressive deck, you also try to want to find Doomsayer.
Right. All right. Well, we got an Ooze, an Arcanologist, and a Frost Nova out of that. And he played a mana worm. Imagine that on turn 1.
Probably not quest mage.
Do we coin the Archaeologist, or we just sit here?
Yeah, I think we coined it out.
All right.
It feels bad if he has a Frostbolt, but
Interesting.
if he does not have a Frostbolt, this is a very good play because we can trade Archaeologist in and ping it onto turn 2. Yeah, ping his mana worm, I mean.
It's a primordial glyph, so
Not a Frostbolt.
yeah. It's another primordial
no.
glyph.
Okay. I mean, as long as he doesn't find a Frostbolt, it's still okay.
Yeah.
Hey!
He went face.
He's not gonna trade. Yeah.
Just kill it.
Yeah. We didn't draw Frostbolt, we drew Arcane Intellect.
That's right.
So,
Just trade and ping. And
yep.
I found it first.
So it looks like a more aggressive mage, which means we want to try to remove their threats
yeah.
and not die.
So next turn, we're looking at between Ice Block or Arcane Intellect. So he plays a secret.
So
Okay.
normally I would set up Ice Block here in preparation for him playing something so that we can remove it with the Valet in our hand.
Mhm.
But we don't exactly want our Ice Block counterspelled.
Yep.
So I think I would just play Gluttonous Ooze here. We have that on our hand.
If it's Mirror Entity,
If it's Mirror Entity, we're not too sad. It just trades off. And if it's not Mirror Entity, it means we can play around Counterspell going forward.
it is Mirror
It
Entity.
is.
Alright.
So ideally in this matchup, if you think it's Entity, you want to play a Doomsayer when they have a board, but we don't have a Doomsayer in our hand, and
There
usually
was-
it's not a good idea to say, let me wait till I draw Doomsayer. That's kind of hard to do.
Oh, 2 secrets. One is
That's-
from the... Oh, wow.
That's scary.
So 2 secrets. One was from the glyph because it costed 1. And then he played the Crystal Runner on top of all that.
Scary turn.
Yep.
So this is likely a Counterspell on something else. It could be Ice Block or maybe a second entity.
We start with the glyph?
Yeah, I think the Glyph is what we want counterspelled. We kind of want our card draw. We kind of want Ice Block up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not entity. Sorry, counterspell. But I think we do want the Glyph counterspell.
Yep. Or Mana Bind. Nope, it's Counterspell. Well, would you just play a Naked Valet or save that to do the 3 damage?
I think we'd save that to do the 3 damage. So we want to be able to remove both of these, but we have no way of removing the.
Crystal Runner?
Yeah, I think we just kill the ooze and then ping off the Crystal Runner.
So this could be Entity or
Or Frozen Clone, or Barrier, or Block, or Polymorph Potion, or Spellbender, or Vaporize.
Spellbender. Yeah, it could be anything. Another secret. This
So
one
that's
from
probably
the-
another counterspell.
God. And we get hit for the ping and the big thing. So that's... We're down to 18 here.
So I think we play Barrier. We hope it's not... if it's counterspell, we don't want to play the Fireball we just drew, because that's our whole turn gone. With Barrier, we at least, gain 8 health. And if it is counterspell, we can remove this another way next turn.
And we dealt with all this junk. Okay.
That's good. So
Would
I guess
you,
we just...
Ballet
yeah,
the...
on Valley the 5/4.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
So we played Ice Barrier. It didn't go off with Counterspell, which means that's likely second entity.
On fire.
Yes. And...
Yep.
Okay. So
And
the... Yeah, go ahead.
No. It was another entity, so he has a Ballet and a 5/1. Ghastly Conjurer.
Which means the secret he has left up that he got off of Glyph is either Barrier, Block, Spellbender, or Vaporize.
Okay, so we mitigated some damage here. Because he's going face.
It's a great draw. So we drew Blizzard. He has a 2/6, a 5/1, a 2/3, and 2 mirror images. He played Conjurer last turn and played the mirror images.
So there's no counter spell anymore. We dealt with that, right?
Yep, so we know for sure Blizzard will go off, which means we can stop the board from hitting us.
Would you kill the valet or the...
I would probably kill the valet.
Just get it over with?
Yeah. Actually,
Right away.
I'm okay hitting the 2/4. I changed my mind.
Just hit the 2/4?
Yeah, we can likely ping next turn the 2/1 and then play Fireball as removal. We're going into his turn 7, so it's likely he has Firelands Portal. Or not likely, but if he has Firelands Portal on 7, we at least have a Fireball to answer that, which means we can ping off the 2/1 that's left on the board.
There's the portal, and you sent it straight to the face. Oh, it's a Neutron. Meteor. Huh.
Interesting.
We drawing?
Perhaps.
So he should be out of big threats. We probably want to just make sure whatever else he has now doesn't keep hitting us in the face. I'm just trying to think how we want to do this. I think drawing...
No.
Interesting.
I think drawing is fine, yeah.
Maybe we get... I don't know what we're looking for. There's a Frostbolt, an Arcanologist. So what do you think? Huh.
I would actually Nova the board and then trade the 2/1 in.
That's it?
Yeah.
Right away.
And this way it sets up for a Meteor clear next turn.
At least we stop a little bit of this chip damage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we kept Alex Straza thinking it was Quest Mage. So we do have defensive options if he starts trying to burn us out.
Babbling Book.
An incredible
Arcanologist.
And it drew something, which is likely to be his second counterspell.
Wait, didn't we?
No, we had 2 entities, 1 counterspell.
Okay. Oh. We want to give him the glyph into that, or not even?
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. So we drew a second glyph, and we're going to use that to proc the counterspell.
Yep.
Okay.
Is he still Meteor or not appealing anymore? Just Frostbolt.
It might be Spellbender, which is actually really bad if it is.
Oh, yeah. Frostbolt Fireball. Does that even...
Interesting.
No.
Honestly, we probably still have to Frostbolt. I guess we can Frostbolt the 3/4 first. No, we Frostbolt the 2/3, sorry. Because we want to ping off the 2/1 as well. That removes 4 off board. So ideally it's not Spellbender, but
It is not.
nice. So now we can choose between pinging, which means we're dead to Fireball, or we set up the
Ice
Ice
block.
block. And I think we want to set up the Ice block.
Just in case?
Yeah. Because he's got 8 on board, he would still need to use his Fireball to pop the block. And if he does that, we can Alex draws ourselves after, and he won't have 15 damage on board to kill us after that.
If we live somehow.
Yeah, so he has a... Oh my goodness.
Goodness gracious. I've seen so much of this Bone Mare stuff.
Yeah, that's actually really unfortunate because it pops us and it means he has enough damage.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. I've seen I've seen a lot of Bone Marrow in this. I don't think it's very good, but
It's all over the place though.
yeah.
I've lost
I
to it
think
a lot.
I think Bone Marrow is a great card. I just don't think it fits in Tempo Mage. But if people are having success with it, then great. So we're at 1 health. There's more than 15 damage on the board, so we can't Alex ourselves because we die. The only way we stay alive is by going Arcanologist, drawing the second Ice block,
An incredible
playing it, and then I guess polymorphing the 6/6. Try to get... do you Fireball instead? I'm not really sure if it matters.
Does it make any difference? I was gonna say.
Fireball technically takes more damage off the board.
Alright.
Yeah, Fireball, I think. If you polymorph, there's still a 1/1 left over. If you Fireball, it's completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, Bone Mare is being added to every deck in the world somehow. So
I've seen Paladin, Druid, Mage now.
An
Yeah.
incredible discovery.
He
nice.
played Archaeologist, but he has no secrets left.
Finally out of secrets. Woo.
So we can Alex ourselves now, and we're technically alive on board, and we have to do that. He has a random spell from Babbling Book in his hand, and a natural card from his deck, which he has not played with 6 mana left, which is likely Fireball. But yeah, Alex is the only play that keeps us alive, so we're gonna Alex Draws ourselves.
Yeah. We drew Frostless Jaina, but not enough to keep us. We drew the
And he-
Fireball.
Top picks Fireball, and just had the other one in. Oh no, that's Valet. Okay.
It was Ballet. So
Unfortunate. Tempo Mage in particular is pretty good against this deck. I think we also drew unfortunately a little
yeah,
bit.
the Alex was just a read on what it could have been. And
Yeah, if we had tossed the Alex, we would have one more extra card in our hand to deal with his threats. And yeah, I mean, most mages on ladder right now, at least a rank 5, aren't aren't tempo mage, and they are quest mage. But that's ladder for you.
Yep. All right, we got a pirate warrior in here.
Surprise.
We got a
So we have-
Frostbolt. That seems good.
We have Glyph, Frostbolt, Polymorph, and Intellect going second. We probably want to throw everything back except for the Frostbolt. We want to find Archaeologists, we want to find Doomsayers, and our one Gluttonous Ooze.
Yeah. We had it
Frostbolt is
last.
just good enough to keep.
Yeah, we had it last time. There's a Doomsayer. That's good.
So we have Ice Block, Frostbolt, Skulking Geist, and Doomsayer, along with the coin.
Oh, he didn't do anything. So
He did not.
we don't do anything either, right? Or would you?
I'm thinking. So we drew Glyph. We're floating 1 mana now. We could coin it. We can coin Doomsayer, which feels bad because he didn't develop anything. We could coin Glyph, but I'm not sure if we know what we want yet. I'm inclined to say just pass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unclear what this is. We probably know what it is, but
He mulliganed 3 cards. It's not Taunt Warrior. It could be Fatigue Warrior. Not super likely.
oh,
It's Fatigue Warrior.
this is the dead man's
we
hand
don't.
thing.
Yeah, that's not good for us. We don't really beat that easily.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would just Doomsayer. He played an Armor Smith, sorry, on 2.
Yep.
The reason I want to play Armor Smith is they generally don't build a big enough board for you to want to Doomsayer Nova.
You think this is the dead man's hand thing, right?
It could also be Zoth Warrior.
Okay.
But I still kind of like just Doomsayering. Just because he has no way of damaging himself now, so he can't Battle Rage. Frostbolt doesn't feel good. You could Glyph, but you're still not 100% sure what you want.
Right. He just armors up and hits us in the face for 1. Doomsayer goes off. You get Frost Nova.
Yeah.
Do we intellect? Just draw.
Just Intellect seems good, yep.
Fireball.
So, and
Meteor.
Meteor. Our game plan against Dead Man's Hand is try to Alex and kill him, because that just beats us. Our game plan against the N'Zoth Warrior with one Dead Man's Hand is to get same thing actually.
There's
try to
Alex.
Alex him or Frostlit Jaina early. I think we can just develop the Ice Block here.
Yeah.
We have 4 mana, but we don't know what we want to do with Glyph yet.
We're
we might
getting
want
full
burn.
of cards, so we gotta start getting rid of them. 9 cards. Yeah.
It's good having options though. It lets you kind of decide what you want to do, how you want to spend your resources.
Okay, turn 5 with another armor up. He's just doing the
Yeah.
oh, another ice block. Well,
I think you can go Primordial Glyph. We could coin out Geist. It's not going to hit much, but I kind of want to save coin for Alex and try to just kill him that way. So I think
we're
we'd
looking for
rather
some
save
burn.
coin.
Cavalist Tome. Ooh,
I actually think
Frost-
that
Frost.
that might actually be fine.
Tome.
Yeah, I think Tome is okay. So we have Frostbolt, Simulacrum, and Cabal's Tome. Frostbolt, 3 damage isn't that much relevant burst. You usually want to look for Fireball, Firelance, Portal, Pyroblast. So I don't think the 3 damage will be as relevant. Simulacrum, you don't have that many stuff you want to copy in your deck. You could technically copy Elise, but that's like very specific. And
Yeah.
Tome is just 3 cards. So on average, you just get something else good out of the Tome. So kind of like that.
Thing to face.
Yep, pink face.
We can't play the tone.
Yeah, we can't play the Tome because we're on 9 cards. So playing the Tome would take us down to 8 and then up to 11, which means we lose 1 card from the Tome and then we also overdraw 1. So we'll save it for later after we spend some more of our cards.
It's an Acolyte of Pain. The Whirlwind? Oh, Ghoul.
And Ghoul.
Is this Dead Man's Hand? Is that how it goes?
This is the Zoth Warrior. So they're running double dinosaurs, double Mountain Fire Armor, Cairn, and Nazoth plus 1 Dead Man's Hand.
Alright.
I think you just play the Geist here for tempo.
Interesting.
They are usually running Whirlwinds, or maybe 1 Whirlwind.
Let's see if it hits anything.
Oh, we just got rid of 2 Whirlwinds and 2 Shield Slams.
Seems pretty
That's
good.
actually good. Yeah, that means they're more focused. This might not even be in the Zoth. This could actually just be Control Warrior. That's actually kind of good for us.
Slam? Oh, and maybe
For
the Dead Man's Hand thing. No?
He might have 1 Dead Man's Hand. I don't think he's running 2. But that's actually interesting, because if he is running 1, we just cut 4 cards out of his deck. Even if he does Dead Man's Hand, he's already 4 cards deeper than his Fatigue. If he keeps drawing, we can actually beat him if he plays 1 Dead Man's Hand.
Alright, so you traded in the Acolyte. Oh, Cold Light
And it looks like it's Fatigue. That's bad.
Oracle. We just lost a card.
We lost Mundi's Valet.
We're gonna lose another one. Sleep with the Fishes. Takes care of Geist.
Oh, that's, you hate to see that.
Yeah.
So we burned
it's-
Frostless Jaina.
It's one of those nights.
So I would actually Frost Nova Doomsayer here. And the reason why is it's turn 7. We have Coin and Alex Strauss in our hand, and we just lost our other win condition. And the Yapping Face. So I think we need to take a stance to clear the board now. Coin Alex and try to burn him out. We don't have all the burn in our hand,
Yep.
and we lost Valet, but
Don't give him any time to develop or whatever.
exactly. He's also lost 2 removal spells with the whirlwind, with the Shield Slams in the world. Oh, and he just went Garrosh.
So he lost.
He played Squirtle Garrosh, which means he lost the ability to armor up. So now Coin Alex is actually really good. Yeah, I just slammed that. So we Coin Alex. He now has 15 health and 9 armor. He's at 24. We have a Tome, a Fireball, a Frostbolt, a Meteor, the second Ice Block.
Glyph can get us some Pyroblast.
Yep.
Tome can get us Pyroblast. He won't be able to armor anymore, so no Shield
So he
Slam.
needs-
So he's
second
slammed.
Execute.
Yeah, he's looking for Execute. He's down to 9 cards, but Battle Rage still
So
fishing.
he doesn't have the Execute in hand, which is really good for... If this Alex connects face, we likely just win.
Yeah, I don't know. That's super optimistic.
I mean, I wouldn't... He Battle Rage for 1.
Yeah.
Oh, he had the Execute in his hand, but he chose to Battle Rage for 1. Okay. Oh, and the reason we got mailed earlier is because he played Cold Light Oracle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Forgot about that part.
We drew the second Firewall. So we have 8 cards in our hand right now. We have enough space to play Cabal's Tome.
See what we
so I
get?
think we should start with that, yeah.
Yeah.
We drew another Fireball. So we have a lot of burn, but we don't have enough mana to do it all in one turn. So I think we want to play Tome and kind of get more information on what we want to do with our hand.
Yeah, because he's going to have shield blocks, right?
Maybe. He might not. If he's running double...
Holly, Mana Bind, Flame Strike.
I think you can just Fireball ping his face.
Just go.
Yeah.
Okay. We're hoping to get something big out of this glyph then. What else gives us burn that we don't have? That's it, right?
Yeah, Fireball, Firelance Portal, Pyroblast. If we time this correctly and we play Mana Bind, we might even get a Dead Man's Hand, which means we could actually beat him in Fatigue. Nope, we missed it. He played it.
There's that man's hand. Okay. Oh god. More Oracle. Frostbolt.
My hand is full.
Nice barrier.
We milled the barrier.
Oh.
So it looks like it is actually just Fatigue Warrior, which is really weird. You don't see many lists running Shield Slams.
He's gonna have shield block then, I think. Or bring it on, whatever that is.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I don't think we beat that. He played the second He can't go infinite anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter because he's like 8 cards ahead of us.
Bring it on. There it is. Cause he...
Okay.
My hand is full.
We lost a Nova as well.
So what could...
I think we just Meteor Mana Bind. He's not going to have any big targets, so Meteor is never going to hit anything. We might as well use it to remove the 3/3 and the 2/2. And I don't think we're going to win just by burning him out, since we know he has Bring It Ons. So this way, he can't go infinite anymore because he played both Dead Man's Hands. If we get our own Dead...
Did he draw in between, or he didn't?
No, he didn't draw in between.
Okay.
Oh, he did draw in between. I didn't notice that.
Maybe with the cold light, he got the other one, so...
In any case, I don't think this game is going to be pretty close. We keep facing... Both our matches have been against very unfavored off-meta decks.
Okay. Arcanologist?
I think we go Glyph. We don't have any secrets left in the deck. We do want to develop Arcanologist, but I think we Glyph first to see what we get off of it.
Glacial Mysteries. It's so bad.
So we're offered Glacial Mysteries, Ice Block, Molten Reflection. In Fatigue, Ice Block doesn't matter. We don't want that. Mysteries, we have no secrets left in the deck. Molten Reflection is good, I think. If we end up finding like Pyros or something high quality from the Elise pack, we could Reflection it. So I think we take the Reflection here. So and then we can play Arcanologist, yeah. And I think we just... We can probably Fireball and ping his face. We're at 8 cards. If he finds another Cold Light, he mills another card. So this burn isn't going to target any of his minions anyways, so we might as well slam it in his face to try and make sure we don't get milled anymore.
Yeah. He has Cold Light still.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty unfortunate.
This is also one of the issues with the deck. If you face a deck like Fatigue Warrior, you don't necessarily just lose, but to find out if you win or lose, you have to play like 30 turns or something.
You see they amended the rules to make sure there's clarity around if it goes infinite, what you're supposed to do. Like 90 turn limit or something. I don't know what it was.
There was an HCT rule that they put out saying that if there is a Dead Man's Hand mirror and it goes to Fatigue and like both players just keep Dead Man's Handing, the game actually will end after something like 45 turns. And he's saying that after 45 turns ends, both the players explode and it's a draw. But they're saying if that happens, the player with the most armor will win.
So he also plays Geist, even though he plays all that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're never going to win this in Fatigue. We got a Battle Rage off of our Mana Bind. I think we should start off with our Battle Rage. We kind of want to find Elise at this point and try to win with that.
No.
Yeah. So I think it's Polymorph, Arcanologist, ping.
Just ping the 1/1?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the best pack in the world. And
well, the pack literally has to give us like 5 Elises so that we don't die to Fatigue that quickly.
And it's not even enough. Oh, there's Harrison Jones too. It's all kinds of good stuff in here. Blizzard.
I think we just Frostbolt. No, we can use second Polymorph. So ideally, we'd have Jaina up right now, so the polymorph gives us elementals, which
Yeah.
are more threats and lifesteal. But
We
we
burned.
unfortunately, yeah, he milled us with Colette Arcles, which we weren't expecting. But
That belongs in a museum.
Another Harrison. Oh,
I think Elise Frostbolt Ping is good.
This jungle
Removes the Harrison, develops a threat, and puts the pack in her deck. We could always Reflection Elise, but we kind of want to remove the Harrison to not take any extra damage, because we're going to take a lot of damage in Fatigue. And I think we're so far behind that we need to Molten Reflection something even greedier.
Yeah,
So
like
hopefully the pack gives us something. Pyros would be ideal.
something flashy, splashy. So he can whirlwind and hit this, right? Or yeah.
Yeah.
See, now that the weapon is gone, need the pack. Intellect.
Feels pretty bad. I guess you do.
We're and then we
I
won't
mean, yeah.
there's the pack. We don't have room to play it. Play ballet.
I think, yeah, you play Ballet and Frostbolt his face.
Excuse me, you
Just make room for this.
Yeah, exactly. I think now you can play the pack. Oh, you pinged instead. Okay,
Oh,
that's fine.
sorry. 1, 2, 3, 5. No, it would have filled the hand. Anyway.
We might have been able to play something off of it, and worst case we can go. Oh no, we can't Molten Reflection after.
It's like a 1. Yeah. You gonna execute it?
No, just like probably.
Bring it on? Yeah.
All right. I think we just. I think we just play the pack for 4 cards. I mean, we have 7 cards in hand right now, so we play the pack. We got on a 6. We only get 4 cards off of it.
Okay.
But the only cards we can play are Flame Strike and Blizzard, which means if we do that, then pack. It's unlikely we can play anything off the pack. So we go pack first. Yeah.
Kind of the same problem we had last turn. Here we go.
golden legendary.
Savas, Lasher, Primordial Drake, Tarim.
I think you just play with Primordial Drake.
Get the execute out of the way, I guess.
Yeah. Like, it's yeah. We actually just don't have enough threats to kill him. We've used all of our burn or burned it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More bring it on.
I don't see us winning this.
Just the execute, right? Nope.
almost out of cards.
Blizzard.
I mean, he's sitting on brawls too. If we play more minions and try to kill him faster, he's gonna brawl. But if we don't play minions, we're just gonna die to fatigue. So I think the only thing to do is play everything and just hope he doesn't run brawls or something. And then if he has the brawl, we can concede. So we hit face with the Primordial Drake first to get the 4 damage. Then we play the Razor Paddle, Clutch Mother, and then Tarim to make everything bigger.
One smaller, but yes. You can't Molten Refraction before it doesn't do anything, right?
Nah, it doesn't matter. I would actually Reflection after the brawl if something big survives.
Kind of washes out. 1 more damage, a little bit less health.
If we're running Antonidas in this build, we might be able to win, because he plays Bring It On enough. Antonidas becomes cheap. We can try to find some cheap spells, but...
Our smaller Drake wins. Yay! Sleep with the fishes?
I'm out of cards.
No.
Oh.
So now we go Ooze, Molten Reflection, the Ooze, Pink Face. There might be a world where we win. He's only at, what, 25 health?
Yeah, and has Bring It Ons. Another
Yeah, I
one.
think we can probably concede here. We have no more threats. We only have removal left in our hand. And we only have a 3/3 on board. He's super healthy, and we just hit fatigue. He's got 10 cards left. 9 cards.
Execute it now.
Checkmate.
Well, the only plan
Unlucky.
was the Alex plan, and the milling of the Jaina. I mean, even with that, it was gonna be tough, but that really made it tough. Oh, maybe one more. Let's see. Any gas left in the tank?
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
get,
no.
Gotta get
Gotta
a
get a
victory
W.
here.
Exactly. Okay, the third game we queue up for, we'll find a non-unfavored match. Find something we can actually beat.
Show what the deck does. We haven't been able to even get a water elemental. Here we go. Jade Druid time.
Well, we've shown what it does. It just it doesn't do much against those those classes. So we start off with block, blizzard. We don't want any of those against druid at the start, so we can throw them all away.
Yeah. Let's see what Doomsayer, Frostbolt, and Polymorph. We go first. We can't play anything. Pass. Friend the Druid. Should play a Jade Idol.
Ooh, we like this. This deck beats
Firefly.
aggro. Cool, cool. So you went Firefly, Coin, Flame Elemental.
Medivh Valet.
I kind of just like Doomsayer. Actually, do I?
Do we Doomsayer him now or wait? Probably Doomsayer, right?
I think Doomsayer, yeah.
Why not? Like, if you were hesitating for a second.
I was thinking if there's merit to waiting till we have a freeze, but they can do a lot in 3 turns if you give them room. I think it's better to just Doomsayer.
And go from there? Alright.
Yeah. It'd be another thing if we had the Nova in our hand, but we're not even guaranteed that. And if we draw Blizzard, we have to live till turn 8. This is just pretty much guaranteed to go off. It deals with these early 2 minions. He's already used Coin. It lets us develop, which we might not have anything to develop, but at least slows down his board progression so we can try to find more answers before he does that.
You could always play a Naked Valet. So anyway, he's thinking about it. He innervates a Savage Roar.
You like to see that. So he's putting 8 damage and an innervate into this Doomsayer. So even though it didn't go off, that's really good for us.
Oh, and an Enchanted Raven to go along with it.
That's fine. I think here you can develop the Valet.
Just to put something down.
Yeah. There's merit to Frostbolting instead, but Valet is better if he doesn't have a buff. And he was very intent on keeping his board alive there, so he might not even have a buff.
Oh, he may. Yeah. He drew a buff? Crypt Lord.
No buff? That seems good.
Okay, goes face with the rest. The Crypt Lord is a 1/6 that grows. We're gonna nuke it. Oh, there's a Frost
So
Nova.
we have Polymorph and Fireball. Polymorph is much better against A, Fledgling, or B, Hydra.
Hydra,
And
yeah.
Fireball can't kill a Hydra. So we, even though Fireballing a 1/6 feels bad, I think we just Fireball here.
We take down the beast, right? Because it marked with your charge.
Normally, yes. I would actually trade into the 1/2 instead.
Okay.
And the reason why is if you trade into the 2/2 and he doesn't have anything, he can just hero power down the 2/1. If you bump a 1/2, he can't just hero power it down. So something else has to trade into there. And if he chooses not to trade into there, you get another kill on one of his minions.
Okay. I guess this one card is not relevant. Alright, there's a Bloodsail Corsair, which brings out patches.
Looks like he has buff for second roar.
It's a direwolf.
If he doesn't have a buff here, that's actually really, really good for you.
Yeah, that's it. Looks like the Raven and the Flame Elemental went face.
Okay.
We drew an ice block. We have Polymorph, Frostbolt, Frostlich, Jaina, Frostnova, Ice Block. And there's
He
4
has-
2 health minions on the board.
I think block Frostbolt is fine.
On the wolf,
Yes. So I want to prioritize the wolf. They're all small minions, but the wolf buffs the ones next to them. So that removes the most damage off the board.
3 damage of the board is gone.
And he has now 2 cards left in hand.
This living mana turn.
I hope not, because that's the one thing that's hard for us to clear right now. It looks like it is not living mana turn. He also did not play a Hydra.
Yeah, we could also rip a Blizzard. Oh, he's playing a 3 Another Raven. That's it. So he hits us in the face with everything. We're down to 17 with an ice block. He's got one card. There's 4 minions, but they're small, tiny minions.
He has one card that he hero powered instead of playing something. So he technically had 4 mana left, and he didn't play that card. If he had Hydra Living Mana, that would be stronger. So I don't think it's Hydra Living Mana. So I think it's either Innervate. If it was a buff, he would have played the buff. So I think it's Innervate or Second Roar, and Roar just wasn't lethal. Yeah. We drew Glyph. I don't think we want to polymorph anything on this board, so I think we start off with Glyph. And hopefully find some cheap AoE. Or even maybe some single...
Volcanic Potion?
So we have Volcanic Potion, Flame Strike, or Simulacrum. We have 4 mana left. This will be discounted. Flame Strike we can't play this turn, but Volcanic Potion completely clears the board right now, which is what we're aiming for. We know he's out of resources, so we don't need to plan for much longer than this turn. And Volcanic Potion does that. Well,
You don't do
exactly.
Frost Nova? Just do Volcanic?
I'd rather...
Well, he can buff and stuff, so let's just get rid of
yeah,
this, right?
I think Volcanic's a bit safer.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, Living Mana and stuff, but it's...
I don't think it's likely he has that in his hand right now. If he draws it, we're a little sad, but he could also just as easily draw a buff card.
Yeah,
and there's
that may
four
be
buff
worse.
cards in the deck and 2 living manas.
Alright, the one card he kept is about to be played. It is
Oh,
Living
he actually
Mana.
did. I think that was incorrect on his part, but okay.
We held it. That's what I was thinking, but Arcanologist.
Yep, I think Arcanologist is fine.
We get the barrier,
Block or
hopefully?
barrier. We'll see.
Uh,
We got the other block. I think because of that, we can just go Nova and ping one off.
One of these 2/2s?
Yeah. We might have to punch through these the hard way, so. He doesn't have enough to pop us next turn, but I still kind of want to Frost Nova because 12 damage is a lot. And if we can prevent him from popping us until turn 9, we do have Frostless Jaina.
He didn't play anything because he has 1 mana.
Okay, we drew Intellect, we have 8 mana, so I think we start off with that because we have no AoE in our hand right now. And we need more cards to work with.
Meteor and another Intellect.
So Meteor's not playable, we don't want to polymorph anything, we drew the other Intellect, we have 5 mana left, Intellect is probably the play.
Doomsayer. Fireball.
So I kind of like playing Doomsayer here and killing a 2/2. We could ping off the 2 when we ping last turn instead, but if we play the Doomsayer, he's not popping us for sure. We have an Ice Block up, we can develop Jaina, then clear his board the turn after with the Elemental up, which means we can heal back up even if he pops us.
And we have another one in case some things go.
Exactly. So we have a bit of time, and we still have 2 Blizzards in the deck that we can find.
Alright. Phew. And he's willing to sink damage into Doomsayers, but let's see if he Power of the Wild. Alright.
That's not enough to.
No, he's
pop
clearing
us.
them again. He's clearing everything, I think. Or maybe not the Archaeologist. Nope.
No, he chose not to kill the Archaeologist. That's good for us.
Alright.
So he has 5 treants on the board. There are 3/3s. One of them is a 3/2.
Ooh.
So we drew Frost Nova.
You steal Jaina every time?
I think we do. This is the turn where we are not afraid of dying, and we have block up, so I think we should take that opportunity to play Jaina. Conveniently, our 2/1 hits a 3/2. He has 4 3/2s left on board. That's 12 damage. We have 11 health, gained 5 armor. We're at 16 health then, effectively. So Jaina technically takes us out of lethal on board.
And we have a Water Ellie. Woo! That
We have
heals.
a Water Ellie now. And even if he does pop us this turn, we can use the Water Ellie to heal back up. And we have Nova to freeze his board if we're afraid of him doing more damage, then we have health at that point. So I think this was a great turn to play Jaina.
Oh man. Let's see.
This is what we play for.
Yeah. Play a Hydra so we can polymorph it and ping it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
There it is.
oh, there it is.
Oh, he's going face. Face. Face.
Place.
Face. Okay. Well, is there anything else instead?
There are other plays. I think you win no matter what from here. So I think polymorphing is fine just because it generates more Water Ellies,
So
which makes you heal faster.
take one of these down.
Yep.
Polymorph.
Polymorph the Hydra. and then ping the 1/1 left over, which generates a water elemental.
Are we doing anything else? Want to Frost Nova this?
So we have 4 mana left. I think Frost Noving is fine.
Save the ice block?
Yeah, it lets us save an extra ice block.
Why not, right? I mean,
Yeah, from this point on, we're just going to be generating more elementals when we can.
we don't have Doomsayers anymore, right? So
Correct.
we have Meteor in case something happens.
Even if he plays the other living mana, we can clear everything. Can we? More or less everything.
There's Firefly. There's a swing into the face. There's another.
Oh, he's playing around Meteor.
Nice.
Yeah, so he has 3/3/3 Treants and a Firefly and a Flame Elemental. We have 2 Water Elementals on board. One is damaged. We can kill the 2 1/2s with our Water Elementals, heal ourselves back up, and we can play the Meteor to kill the remaining 3 Treants. Meteor is better at killing Hydras, but at this point he can't develop enough threats on the board, and we still have plenty of removal in our hand. We have a Fireball left and a Frostbolt.
Do we just ping the face, I guess?
I
Yep.
concede.
Oh, he's done.
Oh, he conceded. Yeah.
There it
That's-
is. Now
that's
we saw what it
controlling.
can do. So it looks. Yeah, I mean, when you can land that Jaina, it makes a lot of difference.
It does, yeah. And then from there, it's just really, it's so hard to come back after they Jaina and successfully stabilize.
Yes.
Because if you can't pop them, they will just heal out of range
Yeah.
if they have the tools.
I like that. That play that we just did. For some reason, I get this tunnel vision. I'm like, okay, these water Ellies can kill the 3/3 straight up, and I can hang on to this meteor. But in reality, they're much more valuable than that because they're healing us.
And every turn they stay alive is, each one is 3 health a turn.
3 health. So you just milk that. So it's a little bit different than traditionally. Cleaner trades and trying to hold back the AoE. I mean, what
Yeah.
else was he gonna do? Another living mana, I guess. But at that point, we keep getting health.
Yeah.
It's. I was even thinking the Geist because of the Mark of the Lotus, but if there's nothing to buff, who cares at that point?
Exactly.
It's like,
And we still had like 2 Blizzards left in the deck and another Meteor, so we still had good draws to come into. Against Jade Druid, it might have made more sense to save the Meteor for something bigger as
Yeah.
their Jades get bigger. But against an aggressive token list, yeah, you can use the Waterleys and then Meteor the big stuff.
yeah. I mean, at that point when the Water Ellie comes down, it's such a tough choice for the aggro deck because he's like, all right, if I don't have swipe or some kind of removal, I'm gonna be healing him while losing my minions.
Yeah, that's another big thing. If you play Jaina with an Ice Block up and they pop your block, but they don't kill the Water Elemental, then if they have to kill the Water Elemental, you'll heal back up after the block is popped. So that's also kind of nice.
Yeah, it's like such a problem. So it's only hard removal that's really, or some kind of freeze effect, which they don't
Yeah.
have. All right. Well, that's
So
those are 3 good games. I think we want to stop here so we don't fatigue
Yeah.
ourselves. At least me. I'm already fatigued, not just from drawing 30 cards. But
Me too.
It's like,
They're interesting games, but they do take a lot longer to play out.
yeah. It's always gonna be either they concede like that because they know it's over. Because we could have gone on and keep grinding it, but it was like that. Bring It On mage. That thing was nasty.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's also a fun deck, but also a very long, drawn-out game.
Ugh. It's like the anti-Dan deck. Like he's not in favor of that. So anyway,
I would, yeah.
I want to thank you again, man, for coming in. I know it's late on Friday, and you've made possible to get out a show and hopefully entertain some folks. I don't know on a Friday night this late if we're gonna get any audience, but I felt like streaming it and recording it at the same time for audio listeners. I'll put out the companion video because I'm pretty sure the narration, especially on my part, you did a great job trying to fill in, but I think I skipped some turns, so I'll put the video up so that it helps kind of follow along. Speaking of following along, you can follow us at Hearth Coach on Twitter, Facebook, all the social medias. Find us on hearthcoach.net, which is our website. Our email is at hearthcoachpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, which is kind of the same thing, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere, even from the website, you could listen to the show. Our Patreon is at patreon.com/hearthcoach. We'll be talking about the tournament next show with Dan, hopefully, if he can come back. He's got a GoFundMe. I put it on the show notes, so if you feel like supporting him beyond your just good energy and prayers, there's a way to do it. I think that's all the show stuff. I will give a chance for Languagehacker to plug anything that he would like to plug.
Sure, thanks. I mean, thanks for having me again. It's nice to be on. I'm glad I could fill in for a week. Hopefully Dan gets back on his feet pretty soon. You can follow me on Twitter at languagehacker_. On Twitch is just twitch.tv/languagehacker. And I have a Discord as well, which you can find on my Twitch channel. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, obviously keep listening to Fred, but come check me out too if you'd like to.
Yep, and to be sure to kind of check out the dream hacks, and you may spot a Languagehacker running around, or maybe on stream every now and then. So
knock on wood. We'll
and
see.
maybe
Denver.
all the way. Hey, never know. Top 16.
I'll give you guys a shout out.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot. And with that, we'll close out the show. Good night, everybody, and good luck getting to Legend. Bye-bye.